Welcome back to the basic tutorial. In this part, we'll draw cassette tapes next to the player using features that assist and enhance your creation, such as using images as reference, the stabilize option for smooth lines, and advanced joystick controls. I recommend watching part 1 before this tutorial if you haven't. Before following this tutorial, make sure to download the cassette tape image from the link in the description. Alright, let's get started. Tap the icon right next to the stage panel at the top right. This is called the clipboard. You can import images by pressing the plus button here. Let's import the cassette tape image we downloaded earlier. You can adjust its size, move the position, or change the panel's opacity like this. Now go to the stage panel and add a new group. Let's rename it Tape Sketch. Close the panel, move to the front side, and double tap. Zoom in a bit so the cassette player fills the screen. Next, adjust the size of the clipboard to match the cassette tape size with the player behind. Set the opacity to 40%. Lastly, tap the icon on the right side of the clipboard to lock it. This way, the clipboard ignores every interaction until you lock it. It's time to draw. Double tap in the top view and draw a 3D guide. Then go back to the front, switch to the third brush, set the size to 15, and change the color to a slightly dark blue. Let's turn on the stable stroke option before drawing the tape. Open the System menu and go to the Settings tab, which is on the right. Here, you'll find various drawing options including Stable Stroke. Stable Stroke is a correction feature for smoother lines. Adjust the slider to see a preview of how your strokes will smooth out. Higher percentage results in smoother lines, while lower percentage give a free but rough stroke. You can test your strokes directly in this menu. Let's set it about 70% and start drawing. Let's outline the cassette tape first. Draw the inner parts of the tape next. With 100% stabilization, you'll find it much easier to draw clean circles. Next, lower the stable stroke to 70% and draw the outer details. Finally, reduce it to 20% and draw the screws and small holes to finish. When you finish your drawing, close the 3D guide and tap the clipboard icon once more to hide it. Go to the stage panel and hide the Paint 2 group by pressing the eye of it. This icon toggles the visibility of each group. Turn off the visibility of all groups except the tape sketch. Now let's switch to the orthographic view by double tapping with 3 fingers. It's time to explain the lock feature of the joystick. Open the group tab again and select the Tape Sketch group. Tap the circular icon on the bottom right of the joystick menu to lock the 2D joystick. In this mode, you can move only up, down, left and right, scale uniformly, or rotate by 15 degrees. Undo everything back and double tap from the top view. Duplicate the selected part and move it slightly upwards to give it a sense of thickness. Tap the draw icon to exit and add a new group. Rename the group to Tape Paint and close the panel. Now, double tap from the side view and change the brush. Select the ribbon brush from the bottom. Set the size to 80 and the color to light cyan. Let's draw a 3D guide between the two curves as if cutting through them. Switch back to the front view and double tap. Trace the outline of the cassette tape. The ribbon brush is useful for drawing objects with thickness like this. Clear the 3D guide and redraw it from the top view, aligning it with the curves in front. Move to the front and switch to the flat brush, the one that looks like the highlighter. Paint the front face with it. Close the 3D guide if you're done, select the curves you drew, and duplicate them. Move to the top view and slightly shift it upward. Now select only the part we drew with the ribbon brush, and adjust the color to a slightly darker one. Let's learn how to duplicate groups. Press and hold to select the two tape groups in the Group tab. At the top of the panel, you'll see 3 icons. Tap the icon just to the right of the trash can. You'll see that the 2 groups are duplicated, making a total of 4. Select the 2 duplicated groups and move them next to the original. Let's change the color of these tapes to a greenish tone. First, select the duplicated tape paint group and change its color to a light green. Deselect it, select only the ribbon brush part, and make it slightly darker. Deselect it again, and finally, select the duplicated tape sketch group, changing its color to a darker green. You can also merge groups. Select the original tape sketch and tape paint groups, then tap the icon right to the group duplicate icon. You'll see that the 2 groups have merged into a new group named Group. Do the same for the duplicated green tape groups. Rename the merged groups to Blue Tape and Green Tape. Now we're ready for compositing. Turn on all the hidden groups back. First, we need to move the overlapping tapes out of the way. Select both groups in the Group tab and move them forward from the side view. Next, use the Rotate handle to lay the tapes down. The center of the rotation is the center of the screen in this mode. This is handy in many situations, but not always, so it's time to use the 3D joystick. Deselect the green tape, leaving only the blue tape selected. Tap the icon at the bottom right corner to switch to the 3D joystick. When the 3D joystick is active, the button's position follows the camera. The colors on the joystick represent each global axis. Red for X, green for Y, and blue for Z. For instance, dragging the green cone moves the tape along the global Y-axis, while dragging the red cone moves it along the X-axis. You can also rotate objects. Adjusting the arcs next to the cones, rotate the object around the corresponding axis. Unlike the 2D joystick, the 3D joystick always rotates around the center of the selected objects. Now let's use the 3D joystick to compose the tapes naturally. Try stacking them from various angles. By duplicating the groups and arranging in them, you can efficiently stack multiple tapes. Now let's showcase the final feature of the 3D joystick. By dragging the spear in the center, you can freely rotate objects like scrolling a trackball. This is especially useful for quick and random rotation. Let's use this feature to slightly tilt the blue tape here. Finish arranging the tapes using the free rotate feature. Select all the tape groups if you're done. Let's merge them into one. Rename the whole group to Tapes. Next, select the Tapes group and duplicate it. Change the color of the duplicated group to a darker blue. Use the 3D joystick to slightly move it, then set the opacity to 30%. And here's the result. You've quickly created a shadow effect. You can also use this method to highlight brighter areas. Select the tapes group again and duplicate it. Change the duplicated group to a bright yellow. Use the 3D joystick to move it slightly. And remember to lower the opacity. Looks good, doesn't it? Rename the groups to dark and bright, then close the group tab. Before ending the tutorial, let's draw a simple character on top of the cassette tape as a decoration. Add a new group called Character Line. Make sure you're in orthographic view and select the brush type with the square shape. Set the thickness to 15, change the color to a calm blue. Feel free to draw any character you like. It doesn't have to be the same one in the video. You can use the clipboard to trace if you like. You may already know this, but 3D guys can also be selected. Tap the select tool and then press and hold the 3D guide. When it turns green, it's selected. You can move or rotate the 3D guide with the joystick just like other elements. I'll use the joystick to move it slightly backward. Now let's create a new group and name it Character Paint. Switch to the flat brush and use a brighter color. Let's switch the camera and check out what we drew. We'll move on the final part next time. Let's draw an orange headphone as a pair, using the mirror interface, learn how to import images into the 3D space, and try out the new features like loft and sequence. If you have any questions, leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe and like for more updates. Thanks for watching and see you next time.